Hi guys, so I want to show you this interview that took place between Piers Morgan and Matt Hancock, and this is probably one of the most frustrating interviews I've ever heard, because Matt Hancock is incapable of saying, yes, I was wrong. He has this Tory mentality that's so ingrained that he's incapable of saying he was wrong. I think, Matt Hancock is the type of guy who, if he crashed into your car, he would say, no, it was your fault. If your car was parked on the street, parked in legally parked, you even had a little ticket posted in the window in case a traffic warden goes by, and he was driving down the street and he was like looking at his phone or whatever, and he crashed into your car, it would be your fault. It would not be his fault. It would be your fault for, parking there on a Tuesday or whenever the day was. This is Matt Hancock. Now look, let me get to the interview. Stop with me blabbing, but this is probably the most frustrating interview I've ever heard. Let's get into it.
I'm really glad that we're able to send out food for those who receive free school meals when schools are in. And I'm really glad that we're able to do that when schools are out.
If you're that glad, can I just ask you a difficult question? Why did you vote against it?
Well, I'm really glad we were able to put it into place.
No, why did you vote against this? Matt Hancock, you voted against having free school meals. Why did you do that?
Yeah, but if you're that glad about being able to put it into place, again, why did you, as Health Secretary, vote against this?
Well, because the reason that I'm glad now...
Because the reason I'm glad now. So why did you crash into my car? I'm happy because after... What the hell are you talking about? You voted against free school meals for children. Why did you do that? Now, let's continue. But this is extremely frustrating.
Is because we've been able to sort that out and put it in place.
I voted against something that we were able to sort out. We were able to fix. What? So basically, I think he's trying to sell the idea that it wasn't actually necessary to have this pass as a bill. We would fix it anyway. So we don't need Parliament. Basically what he's trying to say. Now, I don't know if he's trying to do some mental gymnastics here and get away from saying, yes, I voted for something that was immoral. We should have increased the funding for free school meals. We should have provided free school meals to children. But I voted against that. Now, I'll explain in a moment why he did. But let's hear what else he had to say.
The reason you're glad now is that you got shamed.
No, thanks to you.
Let's be honest, you got shamed into it by a football player, a young football player with a conscience, who managed to prick the conscience of you and the government. Do you regret now?
No, actually it's not true that he pricked they don't have a conscience. They did it because of the bad publicity. Not that they felt, oh my God, that was the wrong thing to do. We should help these poor children. No, that's not the motivation.
Now, given how glad you are that it's now happening, do you regret voting against it?
Well, of course, I'm pleased that we're making...
It's like, he almost said, of course I regret. No, of course I'm pleased that we've done this. What?
Making sure that...
That wasn't the question. I just asked if you regretted.
But
hang on, it's a very important question because you wouldn't have done it without Marcus Rashford campaigning. My question for you is, given how glad you now are that it's happening, do you regret voting against it? Is a yes or no?
Well, as I say, I'm really glad that it's happening now.
But do you regret it? Do you regret voting against it?
Well, I'll put it this way. In the first lockdown, we took this action. And now, as you say, we're in
Health Secretary, you only have to say yes or no, whether you regret it. You either regret it or you don't.
Well, I'm really glad that the situation's been...
Do you regret it or not? I'm glad that the situation... This is... Okay, so let me explain why Matt Hancock is avoiding this question. Matt Hancock is voting with the government because Matt Hancock is looking after his career. He doesn't care about poor people. He doesn't care about children going hungry. He doesn't care about anyone apart from Matt Hancock. Because you have to remember that if you want to there are two types of Tories. Although I struggle to understand the second one, but the first one is the one who wants to develop a career within the party. Now, if you want to eventually become a minister or a secretary of state, or if you want to become a prime minister even, you have to vote generally, not always, but you have to generally vote with the party. Now, the party can put forward horrible policies, and maybe, I struggle to understand if this is true or not, but maybe within you there is a feeling this isn't a very good policy. This is going to harm a lot of people. But on the other side, there is my career. I want to eventually become prime minister someday, or I want to become a secretary of state, for example. So I have to vote with the party, because if I vote against the party, against the whip, if I defy the whip, for example, then it's going to limit my career. Now, there are exceptions, of course. Jeremy Corbyn in the Labour Party defied the whip many times. He voted against the party many times, and he became the leader of the party. I think that's a different situation, because the Labour Party is very different to the Conservative Party. But Matt Hancock probably is voting as the party suggests because he wants to maintain his job. He wants to maintain a decent career within when the Conservatives are in government. So it's about, to hell what this policy is, I'm going to vote for it anyway. Now, the second type of politician, which I think is much rarer within the Conservative Party, and I struggle to understand how anyone could be like this, is truly they look at a policy and they say, I don't believe in this policy. I think this is a terrible policy, and I'm not going to vote for it. Now, some of them will do it because they really have a soul. And I'm not saying all Conservative politicians don't have a soul. Some of them do. Have some dignity. Have some humanity. But generally, the ones who do vote against the government are doing it for some other political reason, like the Sir Desmond Swains of this world, who understand that they can create their own niche within the party, where they can build upon and gain some sort of power. Not that Sir Desmond Swain wants to become Prime Minister someday. I don't think that's his ambition. But it's possible for him to, create a little niche within the party where he can exercise a certain amount of power and influence and maybe make some money out of it at the same time. Matt Hancock, I think, is more of the former. He just wants to be a career politician. And if the government present a policy, or if the party present a policy, he's going to vote for it. Now, the problem with that is it puts you in a position where you have to defend the indefensible. And how do you defend the indefensible? You don't defend it. You just ignore the question.
Result.
So you regret voting against it?
I'm really glad it's been resolved. We've sorted it out. I'm going to use my own words to describe my own feelings on this one.
So you won't answer the question?
See, I think the approach with people like Matt Hancock is you need to tell the public what he's thinking. That's the way you say, Matt Hancock voted against this. Well done, Matt Hancock, you voted against this. And he can try and qualify it, but you need to create the narrative that he voted against it. You should don't let him get away with saying, oh, but this is a great policy. At the end, we fixed it, blah, blah, blah. No, you need to create the narrative in the minds of the public that Matt Hancock voted. Now, Piers Morgan is a much better speaker than I am by miles. I'm not a fan of Piers Morgan, but when he's holding, for example, the likes of Matt Hancock or other Tories to account, I'll cheer him on. But you need to not let them get off the hook. You need to create the narrative, and they have to attack that narrative. And they can't because they're not capable of attacking, because they know they're in the wrong. It's not a case of you say X and they say, no, that's not true. Because Matt Hancock can't say it's not true. Because Matt Hancock knows it is true that he voted against free school meals for children. So you create the narrative, Matt Hancock voted against free school meals. Now, Matt Hancock, you have the floor. Explain why you did. Of course, he won't be able to, and he'll just make a an idiot of himself. So I think it's important that these people are held to account. If it's Piers Morgan doing it, very good. If it's someone else, I don't care. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?